I want y'all to give him a hand.
Testing. Working? Wow. Me okay? Okay, sorry. Yeah, that's first word I like to say. I'm really honored and pleasant to be here because such a powerful sermon from Pastor Burton and also Woman in Red. I really appreciate it, yeah. As Pastor Burton gave the actually more than generous introduction, my name is Ko, and this is a special morning for me because when this is the first time visiting your church, by the way. So when I turned the block this morning about 9 o'clock, I saw the big church on the hill. Frankly, I didn't know what it looked like. Actually, first sight really touched me. As you were told, I'm a Christian, but I'm not a pastor. I'm just one of a congregation. But happen to be a person believing God. But when I saw the nice church up on the hill and the image Pastor Burton combined, actually, it's something about it. It really touched me. Nice and warm way. Before I even entered the church, yeah. And then when I entered, yeah, everybody. That's okay. I think it's holding battery or something.
Testing, test.
Thanks. Okay. All right, thank you. And when I walked in, I see this sea of red. Frankly, I didn't know what it was. And I realized all the ladies, young ladies, wearing this red. And someone told me, woman in red. And I realized that, wait a minute, okay, so this is somebody's mother, sister, and daughter. Actually, basically the whole pillar, column of the church and family, right? Just like my mother, my sister, my daughter, they were carrying my family. So it made perfect sense. I really appreciate it. This is what I meant by such a powerful and passionate experience that I just experienced the last about an hour. I know Pastor Burton for a while. He's a really good man that I respect. And when he asked me to come over, there was no hesitation. So today, I want to talk about 3 key words. First one is LA riot, and then also cultural differences. And the second one is the faith. And third one is entrepreneurship. Okay? And it seems like all 3 different topics is not related to each other, but to me, it's really related in my life. That's why I want to share that with you. First, the LA riot in 1993. I'm sure I see the generation here. You're probably average age is a little probably older than me. So I'm sure I was pretty young back then. It was like 30 years younger, I guess. I was in Los Angeles, Inglewood, right? Inglewood area in California, right? Los Angeles, and I have my uncle owns a liquor store in the area. Been there about 20 plus years. And as a young guy, and actually, as I look back, I was a kid, right? I was 30 years younger, so I was a little kid. And when I look back, I'm a kid, but back then, I didn't know I was a kid, right? I thought I knew everything about it. Anyway, that afternoon, police came by and asked us to close the store, go home early. And, being a store owner, my uncle, and then nephew as a family member, there's no way you're going to close the store because whatever happens, we'll deal with it. We didn't know what's going on, and then a few hours later, we saw smoke, probably a couple of blocks away, and we saw smoke coming up. So we didn't really know what was going on, but the word was that there is some unrest going on. We should pack up and go. So. I went out and sent some people out and checked, and then my uncle decided that he should close the store, go home. And we thought they were going to come back next morning. And then when we went back, we turned on TV at home and realized that the entire neighborhood is like a war zone. It was a war zone, literally. Yeah. And there was a gas station across the street from the store, and there's a nice medical building, a doctor's office next door. But we actually, there's a TV station helicopter was broadcasting live, and there was the gas station was on fire. Being a small business owner, just try to make a living. My uncle tried to want to go that night, and we had told him that, hey, look, if you go, we're walking into war zone, just like we might be walking into Afghanistan. Wait, and we had to actually almost tie him down to the couch because that's his livelihood, right? Yeah, he's feeding his family, and Anyway, so it took about a couple of days for us to get back there because number one, they blocked the road. We couldn't really go there. Anyway, but about 2 days later, when we went there, we actually didn't have much hope, okay? Because we already saw on TV that gas station was blown off, and the medical building was on fire, and then there's another supply store across the street was also on fire, and everything's gone. So, but when he came, praise the Lord, my uncle's store will just stand still. Where's some broken windows? Yeah, it was. And I'll tell you why. That store was stand still. Actually, we didn't know. We were really wondering, I'll be honest with you, about 80% of buildings around the block was all, it burned, some buildings are literally burned down to the ground. And my uncle's store was the only one that actually pretty much left intact. Some broken windows and, just the damaged fence and all that, but there literally was nothing was looted or anything like that, so we didn't know. But a couple of weeks later, we found out why. There is a gentleman, he is our neighbor to the store and also a long-term customer. I still remember him as my uncle, a mentor. He is the principal of the high school nearby, okay? And he and his neighbor friends and family came out defending my uncle's store because we knew them and they knew us, and they basically said that this is store serving our community. These are my friends, and then the people come out of town. They just come in town to do the harm and just to get the free stuff, I guess, right? So they actually talk him into not to do it, and that worked. Of course, he couldn't do entire neighborhood, but he did for our uncle's store. Yeah. And I remember him as actually, he kind of looked like Pastor Burton. I remember when I was younger age, he's a very good man and always talked to me. I was young, right? And then I heard he passed away actually. But when I go back in LA, I still try to look them up and all that. But anyway, he introduced me to a lot of good Afro-American community people as a young guy who worked there, and I make a lot of friends. I have nothing about any specific agenda, but as a person who I have a lot of good friends, and I have I consider him as my mentor, and this is one of the stories that I have impacted my life. Now it's kind of a funny thing. Pandemic, we all wear masks, right? So I thought about this. When you wear masks, you cannot really tell sometimes who is who from far away unless you hear the voice, what's inside. So I think that what's inside of us really what matters instead of what we look like, right? Right. Yeah. Because like what kind of faith we have, what kind of passion we have each other, and then I think that's what really matters. And I have another small story to tell. The cultural differences. just again going back to my uncle's store. I worked there I was a student, I was a college kid, right? So I helped out whenever I could, all that. So, as you know, it's the liquor store run by, Asian. Okay, there's a language barrier, there's a cultural barrier. I am fortunate to have a bilingual, bicultural. I have a lot of people in the Asian community, a lot of friends in Asian community, as well as the Afro-American community, as well as Latino community. I grew up here, so I know the culture. But the immigrant, older generation of Asians coming here, they have a good heart, they want to open, but a lot of times they cannot speak fast. So a lot, I've seen this happen. So there's about early 20s customer coming to store, and the one of the cashier, he's an Asian guy. He's like a late 30s. He arrived in USA about 5 years ago, and he's still learning English. Okay, language is like it's a part of your nature. It takes a long time to build. So he is able to communicate quickly about how much it is, take the cash, take the money, and then give the change, right? But there is a slight cultural difference. It actually gets started into a story. So let me kind of share that with you. So what happened was, this young man, I know him, his name was Greg, and he's a good guy. I mean, he's my friend. He came in, get a couple of milk and a couple of candies for his kids or something, and then he handed him $20 bills. And Jung-hyun, he's the Asian guy who's store clerk, give him the change, but he actually put the change on the table because in Asian culture, some Asian culture, you're not, touching somebody's hand which you don't know, it's disrespectful. So he put it on the table, the change for him to pick it up because out of his respect to the customer. Now, Greg thought that, wait a minute, you don't want to touch me because you're disrespecting me. These guys start arguing. And I was standing right there next to it. I didn't know what they were arguing about at the beginning because I wasn't paying attention, but I realized that, okay, this guy, just out of respect to put it on the table, and Greg got mad at him because he misinterpreted. But this guy, Jung-hyun, couldn't explain why he did it because, number one, Greg got mad at him. So Jung-hyun is a human being, also got mad at him, says, I try to do the right thing for you, why you got mad at me? But he couldn't explain fast enough in English. So they were arguing, okay? So I saw this, I stepped in, looked at it, hey, look. I explained, look, this is why he did, this is what he meant, and this is why he was not happy. You get it? So, right? So these little things are the ones in a lot of times get in way in between cultures, because I could see that I'm like as a bilingual, multicultural person. So this is the little things that I did. And also what I did was I talked to my uncle, I grabbed all the store employees, okay, non-immigrant, and the ones with immigrant background. I told them, this is what you do here, because in USA, this is a culture, you need to practice and learn, and this is a word, if you get into a situation, this is how you diffuse a situation without going to argument, because they didn't mean anything by it, because they misinterpreted your good intention, so they were just mad and just say sorry, and then, explain quite calmly, that's it. And then that act helps. So, interestingly, I'm kind of proud now that one of the reasons that my uncle's store was saved was because my mentor, the principal, high school principal, he heard the story from somebody in their neighborhood that this store is going far to share the different culture, how to resolve it. So they heard it. He heard it. He actually had a special place in his heart for my uncle's store because of the story. That's what he told me. I actually found out this months later. But anyway, so this is what I had experienced, and this impacted tremendous and positive way in my life. That I could do something as a human being, as a community member who live here. I live in St. Louis now more than many decades, and I could do something. So, last time when Ferguson happened, their social unrest happened, and I was the first one to went out there, try to see if I can help in any way, in anybody. Yeah. So that's that. So, and about the faith, I think faith is the utmost thing that actually helped me to carry through. I'm a businessman, as you know, right? Now I'm a businessman. I did after my school, I have engineering background. I know how to write a software coding, computer programming. So I did that, and then I was able to start up company and sold the company to big companies. So I was able to learn how to do all that stuff. That's how I become an investor, venture capitalist. During the process, I ran into countless challenges, but I realized when I have a faith, there's always a way to resolve challenges. Also, when there is a very hard decision, it could be business or human or family decision to make, faith is the only thing that I can rely on. I realized that. Okay, yeah. So that's my story. I am really glad that I'm here today. And again, I just tell you that I've been here this first service, but I really, truly enjoyed it. And I feel like I'm already part of it. So thanks so much.
Amen. Hey, hold on, Han. Thank you. I want y'all to stand up and give Han a hand because we appreciate him